Remedy is the debut release from indie developer Starside Studios, a fairly new one-man band. A puzzle adventure game loaded with 3D platforming. How does this one hold up? The premise of the game is thus. You've woken in a world racked with darkness, with everything in a state of collapse and decay. Guided by a strange orb, your goal is to restore the world to its former beauty. As you progress through the game restoring the world, you unlock more abilities. Some are simple, such as double jumping, whilst others are more nuanced, such as the ability to see invisible platforms. This unlocks more areas as you progress, giving reason to go back to places you already visited to reach once unobtainable heights. That double jumping that I mentioned, it brings me to the first gripe of this game. All too often, I found that the second jump didn't register, that the height of my jumps was wildly inconsistent, or that I would randomly hit an invisible ceiling where once naught existed. This is annoying at best, and infuriating at worst, especially when it comes to the platforming, with jumps succeeding 1 minute but falling short the next. Whilst not a main focus of the game, platforming does play a core part in a lot of the puzzles. The platforming itself is good, with a wide variety of layouts, challenges, and invisible platforms requiring care and attention, but it's marred by this problematic control. There is also the issue of where edges of objects actually are. All too often you find yourself simply falling off of a cliff instead of jumping to the next platform, even if you appear to still be a foot away from the edge. Moving on to the positive elements, the puzzles are very well designed, requiring thought and exploration in tandem to overcome. Often, I found myself staring at the screen in confusion for a long time, with my only thought being, the hell am I supposed to do this? As an example, I needed to roll a ball onto a plate, past 2 air vents which blew it off its path. Blocking one vent was easy, I just stood in front of it. But the other? The answer was a box that had been placed on the map just in the right way that it was always glanced over, unless you were stood in just the right place and actually looking for it. This is a common theme across the map, and makes for a challenging gameplay loop. These puzzles aren't always a case of find the object though, although they do often start with this. Physics, time, gravity, and even portal-based puzzles are utilised throughout, being used well in distinct ways to make for a plethora of puzzles never too akin to the others. So how does it look? The chiselled shape of the world's objects makes for an artsy style that never ages poorly, and it's done well here. Rabbits are clearly rabbits, and I'm pretty sure that the bears aren't actually ducks. The oversaturated colours in the restored areas of the world make for an attractive setting, however, the overall variance in the colour palette is lacking. On the subject of looking at the game, there's no ability to adjust settings such as the field of view, a minor issue for many, but it's worth mentioning. The camera also shakes violently when moving up and down stairs. Additionally, moving through portals can cause the whole world to shift by a somewhat large amount. Both of these issues can be jarring, but they are infrequent enough that they can be dismissed. Sound-wise, this game does really well. Ambient sounds are appropriate and well chosen, and the music is fantastic, with the right orchestral scores to build suspense, with well-timed swells to help portray the intent of the scene. Within the levels, music is also well chosen. However, the music stops after a short while. This isn't a problem if you're doing a second run and you know the layout of everything, but during that first playthrough, this often leaves you in silence. Overall, Remedy is at its core a great game, with well-designed puzzles and platforming, great music, and a charming aesthetic. However, it's too held back by frustrating controls and glitches, amongst other gripes, to really stand out. Because of these major issues, it brings the score to 6 out of 10 from us. With some extra time and ironing, this could comfortably score a 7, maybe even push an 8, and we would implore the developer to do this. With that said, for a one-man crew what has been achieved here, it is admirable. At £7 or $10 US, it's cheap enough that so long as you can get past the issues we've laid out here, it's a good library stuffer for those who enjoy puzzle games. However, if you're easily frustrated by such issues, maybe leave it a couple of months to give the dev time to iron out these problems. Leave your thoughts below and let us know of any upcoming titles you'd like us to take a look at. And with that, we thank you for watching, and we'll catch y'all next time.